Cancer, Healing Grasshopper, here to do your second week in March reading, the 9th to the 16th. This reading is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. Let's see, we've got the High Priestess. Okay, so we're starting out with a call to pay attention to your intuition. Hold on, I just need to get my pendulum here. I had in my pocket. Um, Reversed. No. Is this ours? Yes. Any of these ours? No. Okay. So right out of the gate, we've got a call to pay attention to our intuition and focus on our dreams. Page of Cups. Pages are beginnings. Cups are emotions. But this is a guy, a page, looking at a cup that represents his own emotions with a fish out of it, coming out of it. Fish represents something of value. Um, and sometimes it can mean like money, but it's depicting his fondest wishes, his dreams, which is what most of the signs are focused on right now. Truth be told, we've been somewhat focused on our desires more and more in the past 20 years with astrological resistance, right? So, or at least it felt like resistance, but it was like there were astrological forces, and I'm really not going to get into that right now. Um, but just suffice it to say that we felt like the universe was working against us when the universe was just trying to recalculate and redirect us. Um, Now there is an energy, it's still kind of organizing for a new, more supportive and productive phase. But we are being prepared for it. First of all, we have to be awakened to it because we've been so consumed with this difficult energy that there's kind of a call to, hey, you, look over here. Things are better over here. Things are better now. We're getting better. So this is what this is kind of alluding to. It's like it's time for you to turn your attention away from your difficulties and focus on your dreams because in all honesty, and to be fair, it's been very hard to focus on dreams when we have an incoming of challenges for the past few years, but the challenges are starting to subside. It doesn't mean that we're never going to have challenges and, the challenges are going to close shop and that's good. It's going to be easy street for the rest of our lives. No, but at least now we can focus more on our dreams with less distraction of, you know, avalanche of trouble. Um, Not reversed. Okay. So very interesting. All right. Cancer. So now Spirit is pointing your attention to everything that's keeping you away from your dreams, which is what I just spoke of, the challenges. And here's what happens to everyone in varying degrees. Um, with, you know, a whole bunch of challenges is we get so lost in the challenges and we begin to accept the challenges as just like a part of life and start to kind of expect the challenges, you know? And as we expect the challenges, it's almost as if we are, it kind of morphs into inviting the challenges, right? Um, and I know that you're saying, what? I've never invited any challenges. No, not consciously, but your subconscious dialogue with the universe is very funny, right? Where the universe doesn't really know the difference between what you consciously want and don't want, right? If you continue to tell the universe, and I'm sure you've heard this before, if you continue to tell the universe, um, or focus, you focusing on something is telling the universe, that's what I want. Whatever you are focused on is what the universe is going to deliver to you, is a better way of saying it, right? So if we are focused on our troubles, that is what we are going to get more and more of. So that's why over here, Spirit is like, focus on your dreams and connect with Spirit. Um, there needs to be more of a connection with your intuition because again it all comes back to what you're focused on. I know I'm going in circles here, right? But there's a call to your intuition because of your focus on the physical plane and the difficulties happening over and over again in the physical plane. And in order to get out of that loop, you need to kind of dial into your intuition. Hold on, I just dropped the card. Whew, not ours. Okay, what else do we have here? Queen of Pentacles. Is this ours? No, this is ours though. Center card. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Four of Pentacles, I've seen quite a bit in the past few weeks. Um, Queen of Pentacles, not reversed. Okay. So, Queen of Pentacles is obviously about abundance, but the strongest energy here is about stability. Um, so, financial stability and the ability to maintain it and grow it and that kind of thing. But she is appearing after the devil, right? So it's like if you make the effort to untether yourself from the devil, and by untethering, these tethers are these people's focus, what you are focused on. If you untether yourself, turn your focus away from difficulty, you will find yourself in a more stable and abundant place. Then you have the Four of Pentacles, which is the Scrooge card, the miser card, the over controlling card. This is a desperate attempt to hold on to something or maintain something, right? And this is what we do when we are anxious and filled with a whole lot of adversity. This is our root chakras at work, right? So this is very much how the devil likes us to feel. So this is your focus card. This is what, more than any other card that comes out, right? This middle card is what spirit wants you to work on, to focus on. This is like your assignment this week and in the coming weeks. Um, but Cancer, you're going to need to catch yourself when you are being too rigid, right? So that is whenever you're feeling anxious, you are going to need to stop and really assess why you're anxious. The decisions Are the decisions that you are making based on that anxiety, or are they rational decisions, right? And you're going to utilize your intuition here. What are you feeling? Are you having a dialogue with spirit? And by dialogue, I mean you can out loud when you're alone or in your head if that makes you uncomfortable to speak out loud. Just the way that I'm talking to you, or you would talk to anyone else. You are going to talk to spirit in your head. I'm anxious. I need guidance. What is your opinion on what I should do? Right? And you'll be surprised at the answers you get. Either a new idea is going to formulate in your head, and you're going to be like, oh, I hadn't thought of that before. That's spirit. Or you may like suddenly look at your phone and there's an article on something that's related to what you just asked about. Or a friend calls and brings up something similar. It's going to come to you from somewhere. Um, this is also being rigid in your opinions, too. You may be thinking one way is right and someone else offers a different angle, and you're like, no, 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 you're wrong. I'm right. You've got to be careful with that. Stop yourself and realize that that's your root chakra talking there. This is your survival mechanism in overdrive, which will often steer you in the wrong place. Because that survival mechanism is meant for when you're being chased by a lion, you know, or wild animal, or you're hanging on a cliff or something. Then yeah, that mechanism clicks into place, and that's what you should be utilizing. But in every other scenario, in everyday life, we got to quiet that voice down because that's not what you need. Yeah, not surprised to see the judgment card here. Can we have three more? Two more, please. Okay. Okay. Any of these reversed? What's next here? Yeah, the tower. Okay. Page of Pentacles. Okay. This is when you make the effort to take charge of this feeling and tame it, you will know the right direction. This is pages are beginnings, pentacles are something of value, and it can also mean health. Um, Health has been coming up quite a bit. This is like emotional health, though. Going in a valuable, healthy direction. The judgment card here. This right here, let's start with the person in survival mode, you here, right? And then you have the devil on one shoulder and the angel on your other shoulder. The judgment card, right? The devil is licking his chops at this survival mode that you're in. That's the type of energy that the devil loves because he can throw all kinds of lies at you when you are afraid, right? And you may not be actively afraid, Cancer. It doesn't mean like you're always like at level 10 scared. That's not necessarily what this means. But this is like, this can be subtle underlying anxiety that gets in the way of your decision making, too, you know. And the devil will step in and take advantage of that. Or we have the angel over here on your shoulder trying to get your attention with a trumpet. This is an angel here. Um, I never knew what angel this is. Gabriel comes to mind. Azrael, maybe. But this is an angel um, who is awakening the dead. Okay, so I looked it up really quickly. It is Michael. Um, and actually, Michael, that's so perfect here too, because Michael, next to God, of course, is the one angel that the devil really fears. Um, so you have, and I'm getting too deep into the angelic lore, so to speak, but it does fit. But what this is saying here is that you have to gather your wits about you because there are decisions to make here and what direction you want to take. You know, are you going to take the wheel of your life or are you going to allow your your fear to steer your life, you know? And I know what the answer is here. No one wants to be led by fear. But the moment that you're aware of it, um, Cancer, like right now, but you got to hold on to it. You can't just forget about it once you turn this off. You have to be aware of it in every moment. Now, Spirit is alluding to what might be arousing your fear here afresh, which is the tower. The tower is like something that comes in that you can't control, that's kind of disruptive and sometimes feels catastrophic. Um, yeah, I feel like this is a great big catastrophe. Um, I do, to put things in perspective, I will ask with the pendulum number scales of 1 to 10. I got a 3 for this tower. So, it's not a big catastrophe. Um, but you can think of this as like the burnt toast theory. And I bring this up a lot with the tower because the tower also has come up quite a bit in the past year for a lot of folks, and it's been low grade towers. Um, so I hear a lot with the tower in my head, burnt toast. So the burnt toast theory, for those of you who don't know, is um, the notion of being grateful when something adverse happens in your life because it's for the greater good. So, you know, you're going to be late for work and you're making breakfast and your toast is burnt, right? So now you've got to throw away the toast and make new toast, and it, takes a few minutes away from you, and then you find out later that just moments before you arrived to a place, there was an accident that happened, right? So it was like that burnt toast kept you from being in that accident. So, which, you know, was for the greater good, right? So it's that kind of thing where, but going back to the burnt toast, when the toast is burning, you're like, oh, shites. You're annoyed. You're not happy about it, right? But that's how towers are. As they're happening, you're not pleased. But and the rest of the moral of that burnt toast theory is that once you embrace the burnt toast theory, you will never again um, grumble about burnt toast, right? The next time the burnt toast happens, or you get a flat tire, or something adverse happens to you, um, you're not upset about it. And you can actually be grateful for it, right? In that moment of the tower, you're like, oops, that sucks, but thank you, universe. I know this is somehow for the greater good. I may not understand it fully, but I know it's for the greater good. And here is the greater good here, the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is the nostalgia card, and often like the get your head out of the clouds card, right? Um, adjust your expectations card. But it can also mean dream your wildest dream. Those dreams that you feel are silly and childlike. You are free to dream, because we started out with the theme of a dream here, and we're ending it here with the dream. Knight of Swords, in a great rush. That's another thing. Mistakes are made when we rush. Sometimes the Knight of Swords can be a good energy, but not here because we've got a lot of anxiety. When we're in this energy and we've got the devil around, we do not want to get into the Knight of Swords energy. This is an energy of stopping, reflecting, assessing, calling it into spirit, following our inner compass. This is like charge, full steam ahead, hurry, hurry, hurry. No, no, no. We can't do this. Okay? And that's what spirit is saying. Like slow down. So, okay. So this card is I didn't even get to ask, but spirit's like, yeah, 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 here I know what you want. Um I need a card in between these two here. Ten of Pentacles, right? So this is confirming the reason why I wanted this card was because I said that this is not the get your head out of the clouds message. This is dream a dream message. So I just wanted to confirm that. Um, because it is in between a tower and a devil here, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't being too Pollyanna here. But yeah, I'm not. This is absolutely dream a dream. This is still talking to the tower here, where it's like this is for the greater good, right? So, in summary, Capricorn, sorry, Cancer. Um, whatever's making you feel anxious or whatever makes you say, oh, shite out loud, whatever, you know, when you get this out of control feeling, that's your cue to stop and assess, and you'll be fine. And don't forget that dialogue with spirit, which you're Cancer. I don't think I have to remind you of that. You're very watery, so you have a good connection with spirit anyway. It's the earth signs I really have to remind them to do that, and the fire signs actually. Um, advice: higher self, sacred destiny. Yeah, those are the two decks spirit likes the most. Spirit refers to the most. This one. Okay. Great. Patience. Unbelievable. Listen, I've been reading tarot for a very long time, guys, and I promise you that none of this gets old. It's just still, and I'm a woman of a certain age, okay? So it's been a long, long time I've been reading these, and it's just mind blowing when cards come out that just fit perfectly. Out of all of these decks that I have here, and of all the cards in the deck that was chosen by Spirit, we were talking about take it easy, and then the patience card comes out. Come on. You, you can't make this up. And for the unbelievers, like, how do you explain that? Come on. But we're spiritual folks here. We're light workers. We believe. No one has to convince us. Um, I'm very chatty today. We're going over time. But I don't worry about that. You know. Spirit holds me in a reading as long as I need to be there. So Um, patience. Patience, as in what we just talked about. Let's not rush through things because rushing a lot of times invites disaster. And we don't want to make this tower any worse than it is, okay? Because it doesn't need to be. The other thing is patience with yourself. Because Cancer, none of what is happening to you, and I really feel that you need to hear this, none of what is happening to you or what's happened to you in the past handful of years is your fault. Because I swear that I needed to hear that myself a few times in the past handful of years. Because really quickly, the energy that I was talking about before was Pluto in Capricorn for the past 20 years that changed into Aquarius at the end of 2024. And we're still in the transition period between those two energies, right? Pluto in Capricorn was a horrifically difficult energy, very unsupportive, it felt, and destructive in our lives, right? So there are all sorts of adverse things happening to us to the point where we were asking ourselves, what I'm doing it wrong. What is wrong with me that I can't get through this? Constantly asking yourself, it's not you, Cancer. You're just going through a difficult energy. You're just going to have to trust the process. The universe is rearranging things in your life right now, and it feels overwhelming. But at some point, I can't promise you when it's going to be, Cancer. But at some point, things are going to level off, right? And it's going to start going in the direction we want to go in. And they'll be less resistant, and we will be able to steer the ship better to where we want to be. Pluto in Aquarius is a supportive energy that we are going to be in for the next 20 years. 20 years. Okay? So we don't have to rush for anything. We can take our time, we can plan, we can dream, we can assess, we can call into spirit. No need to rush. The last thing is there's a mantra that I say to myself when I'm feeling anxious like this. It is, I am loved, I am blessed, I am protected, I am supported. Sorry, I had a blank right there. I am loved, I am blessed, I am protected, I am supported. You guys have probably heard that before. You say it over and over again until um, the anxiety starts to subside. And it does work. Okay, guys? I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys in the comment section. I answer every single comment with enthusiasm. It really makes my day to hear from you. So if you want to tell me how this resonates, you have questions, suggestions, anything at all you want to talk about, don't hold back. Talk to me because I'm waiting for you in the comment section, okay? Please like and subscribe. For those of you who are already subscribed, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate every single one of you. Um, but even if you think you are subscribed, please check for me anyway, because some of you will be surprised to see that you're not subscribed. If you're not subscribed, please do. It's a quick gesture and the like button too. And the hype button, if you see it there, will help a lot. It's a quick gesture, costs you nothing, and really does a lot to help me because I can use the help. Um, don't forget the notification bell because I post every single day. There's always something new. But also, you don't have to wait for the notification bell. If I come the notifications. If I come to mind, come have a peek at the channel and see what's new because there's always something new. Okay? If you're really inclined to helping this channel, you can one, share this channel with whomever you feel will enjoy it or benefit from it. So word of mouth really does help me because the algorithm has not been helping me lately. Um, the other is have a look at the playlist. I have many made for you. Choose one, set it to autoplay, and have it on as background noise as you go about your daily tasks, or as you are winding down in bed, or even sleeping, because watch hours are what a small channel like this one needs to grow and thrive. So thank you so much for your support, guys, and enjoy your week. I will speak to you soon, Cancer. Love, light, and many blessings.